R&B diva Sherelle. Here's up next. Let's talk. What's up, everybody? How you doing out there? Thank you guys so much for tuning in over here to Pepe's Point of View, and I am yours truly, Pepe. Let's talk. R&B diva Sherelle. Yes, this is going to be good, and I am going to discuss Sherelle in a way that hasn't been discussed before. At least I don't think so. You know, all I do over here is listen to music. That's it. I enjoy music, particularly music of the 80s. I love my 80s R&B divas. You should know that by now. I will eventually get all the way up into the 90s and so on and so forth. But right now, I am at home and I enjoy listening to my R&B divas. Sherelle, that's right. Sherelle, R&B diva Sherelle. Matter of fact, get Sherelle on the phone. Get Sherelle on the phone. Call her up. We're talking about R&B diva Sherelle. You might want to get a few other people on the phone too as well. You can call Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis up too. You know, we need to talk. Now, speaking of talking, it's not that kind of episode. We are not dishing out the dirt on who kicked who in these R&B streets. And that's not what we're doing right now. I'm not dishing out the dirt on who kicked who. We're not doing that just yet. Maybe never. But what I will say is that these R&B divas I'm covering at this moment in time, I'm noticing a particular theme with these divas. It started with the last video, Sue-Ann Carwell. If you haven't seen that video, you must go back and watch that video in order to understand where I think I'm about to go with these set of R&B divas. Sue-Ann Carwell, Sherelle, Shirley Murdoch. Is there another one now? I'm trying to think of another R&B diva who might be in this particular category. But anyway, which has me thinking about the making of an R&B diva and what that process looks like or what it is. You understand? And I think, this is just my opinion. It's my opinion, it's not fact. Is that we can definitely learn a lot from this particular diva. Sherelle, I'm talking about her career. And I don't think we covered it. It has been covered in this way. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was covered this way on her unsung episode. As a matter of fact, I don't know about you guys, and I'm pretty sure it has been discussed. I was kind of disappointed to see that they put Sherelle and Alexander O'Neal's unsung together. I was like, oh my gosh, why do that? Why? I understand why they did it, but why put these two unsung episodes together? I understand. Musically, they are definitely a good match. I understand that, but why? Why did they do that? You know, I mean, they could have both given us a great hour show. But anyway, so all I do, and I'm going to tell you what I do. There's no secret. There's no secret potion. It's me. You know, I have the sauce. There's nothing secret that I do. Honestly, I just, in order to give you my commentary, I go back and listen to the music. That's all I do. I have to, because I love the music. I love the music a lot. And that's all I do. I just go back and listen to these albums. But what I do now is I don't listen now for entertainment purposes. Not that way. Like, I don't listen. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a prime example. This album, for a long time, for years, all I knew was Saturday Love, You Look Good to Me. That's all I knew about this album. Saturday Love and You Look Good to Me. That was it. Because I listened for, to, be pleased as far as, these are the songs I like, so on and so forth. And for me, in order for me to really buy an album in its entirety, like the whole album, you had to at least get 3 or 4 singles out before I would purchase the album, because in my mind, if I like the 4, then it's worth purchasing the album. The rest of the songs I probably don't like, but at least I know I like 4. That's how I used to be in the past. So some of these R&B Divas albums I never purchased because they never put out a lot of singles. So I was like, well, I'm not quite sure. And some of the R&B Divas already had a track record of a lot of albums that they had released. By that time, I was such a fan of theirs. It didn't matter if I liked the second song or not that was released from that album. I liked the R&B Diva, so I was like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. I'm a fan. Do you see where I'm going? So that's all I do. I listen to the albums. I listen intentionally. I just listen to the music. Sometimes listening to what they're saying. Like, I just want to vibe the album. I don't want to listen to it just to find that hit song, if you will. That's not what I'm doing at this moment in time. Just listen. So as I'm listening to R&B Diva Sherelle's first album, oh my gosh. Listen here, you guys. Let's go back to the first album. When I listened to the first album, Fragile, I've never heard it. All I heard was a song, I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. Listen, Sherelle, I don't mind. Listen here, if you're not doing it, you need to do it. But you need that Fragile album cut for cut. I mean, there's not one single throwaway song on Fragile. I heard it in its entirety, and after listening to it, I was like, whoa, this was Sherelle? I missed the whole album? Like, is that what you're telling me? We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. It's like, whoa, my goodness. Like, I'm shocked. Really, I'm sitting there like shocked. It got me to thinking. Got me to comparing Sherelle. Well, take that back. Not comparing to Sherelle's to other R&B divas, but other R&B divas to Sherelle. We're gonna talk about it. Like, I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm talking about the making of an R&B diva. I'm talking about the fact that Sherelle is a prime example of what happened. Why didn't this quite work out? Something, what was, But see, that's where I am when it comes to R&B diva Sherelle. I'm scratching my head like, okay. Because speaking about, talking about Sue Ann Carwell, in that video, I basically said, wait a minute, that name, did somebody, the making of R&B diva, she might have to change her name. And for me, I'm like, Sue Ann Carwell, your name just sounds so random. No disrespect, but a name like Sherelle, it just sounds like it has the sauce. It has the secret sauce. That's all I'm saying. So we're talking about the making of an R&B diva. So I'm like, okay. And then you have to line the R&B diva up as far as, okay, this is her sound. Okay, this is her image. It's all of these things that come into play. But even when it looks like everything is good, why isn't it not great? Oh, I know. See, that word is good but not great. I understand that some people can get offended, but you're going to miss it if you all of a sudden think that I'm saying that Sherelle is not great. See, you're missing it because that's not where I'm going. You need to hang in there. I don't know how long this video is going to be, and I'm 10 minutes in, but we have to tease you a little bit. If you want to stick around, you got to stick around. Okay? I was like, oh my gosh. So let's talk. So it's the year 1984. And Sherelle comes out with her Fragile album. And that album is Taboo. She's on Taboo. And her first single, from my understanding, is I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. Sherelle shows up very sexy, a great sound, a great beat. And my, oh my, the song title and the lyric, like I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. If you think about just the song title alone, you would think that this song is right spot on when it comes to like the catchphrase of the time, right? Can you just really and truly envision people, women, men, dating or being approached and they're saying, I didn't mean to turn you on? Do you see what I'm saying? Can you just see that, just the phrase of that song alone? It's a good catchphrase, right? You know, kind of like Gwen Guthrie's Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent. But unlike Gwen Guthrie's Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent, where she's basically saying, man, you ain't got no money. And if you ain't got no money, you don't get no honey. That's what she's saying. So basically, there is a particular set of men, if you will, she's putting down and saying, no. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. But Sherelle, on the other hand, what I like about this particular song, the title of the song, she's not putting herself on a pedestal. She's not putting the man down. All she's saying is, listen, okay, brother, okay, you asked me out. Guess what? I'll go out with you. Yeah. But I didn't mean to turn you on. I'm not trying to turn you on. You asked me out, so why not go out with you? Oh, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up the honey. I don't care if you got money. You got to have some money if you ask me out, because I ain't paying. You don't pay. You understand what I'm saying? So that's Sherelle at this moment in time. So she's not alienating anyone. If anything, she's drawing everyone into her, right? We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. So it looks like she has this secret sauce, doesn't she? I mean, everything is just great and aligned. And you would have to think, when you think about the video, I'm going to assume, her look and everything, even though it's a black and white video, but you have to think that she is dressed of the time, right? You know, she's looking real good, got a nice little, short skirt on, if you will, looking good. She can sing, the beat. Then we're looking at the video. She got the gorilla in there and he's break dancing and everything in the video. And obviously people are probably talking about that, during that particular time. So it seems as if everything is working for her, right? Going somewhere. We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. You want to stick around for this one. I promise you I'm going somewhere, So as this is happening for her, and we're talking about the single, I Didn't Mean to Turn You On, and it finds its way where? The single eventually finds its way into the top 10 on the R&B charts. It finds its way on the pop charts, not very high on the pop charts, but nevertheless, it charts on the pop charts. Not bad, right? Right or wrong? I think that's a decent effort. And so, as you say, there it is. I mean, it seems like it's doing a great, doing some great numbers as far as the single is concerned. Then I listened to the album. Oh my gosh. Fragile. Oh, a great beat. You can just hear or envision people on the dance floor with the song Fragile, on the dance floor. As a matter of fact, when I think about the single Fragile, I can envision maybe some frat brothers or sorority sisters, probably, you know what I'm saying, stepping to that song at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, and everything seems to just mesh really well when it comes to this song. But here is something, so I'm talking about Fragile, the single on the song. But here's something else that is happening. I'm noticing at this time, and it's 1984, but she's working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and it looks like there is a sound coming from this duo, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, even though she's working with some other producers on the album as well, okay? Who share probably about 3 songs on the album, whereas Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis probably have about 6 songs. They have 6 songs on the album, maybe 5 songs on the album. Is that how it works? And maybe the other people have 3 songs. But anyway, it is what it is. And as I'm listening to the album, I'm listening to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's sound. Then I'm listening to the other producers' sound on the album. I think the guys are named, what are the guys' named? Bill Chaplin and Southers. Somebody last name, somebody Southers. I can't quite, Isaac Southers. But anyway, they have 3 songs on there, by the way, that I really and truly do like. I love them. We're going to talk about that too. But there's a sound. Sherelle has a sound. She has a look. She has a sound. She has a great voice. And for whatever reason, I don't know why some of the singles didn't hit as much as they probably anticipate, the singles hitting, but they didn't, but it was all right, right? Whatever happens, the record company decided, you know what, let's go back into the lab. Let's go back to the woodshed. And you have to think that they were serious about her career. And the reason why you would think that they were serious about her career, because she releases an album in 1983 and she very quickly releases another album. She releases an album in 1984 and very quickly releases an album in 1985. We're about to go somewhere. Okay. But let's stop right here and ask ourselves, why did this not work? Well, what do you mean? Well, great song, great album. What was it that didn't hit and mesh well at this time? Is it Taboo, the record company? Is it like a boutique label? Is it that they didn't have enough money to really promote the album the way it should have been promoted? No, we're talking real talk. Could it be that? Could it be Sherelle's management? Could it be that she didn't have the management at the time to be able to knock down the doors that needed to be knocked down for her? You know what I'm saying? Or the doors that needed to be open for her. Was her management able to do that? We're just throwing ideas out. We're not talking about anybody. We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. Like, what was that? Can you really blame Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for it not hitting? We're going to go somewhere. Well, because at the end of the day, most producers are like, all right, we went in, we produced the album. All right, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, let's just sit back and collect our checks and see what it does. You know, there's nothing else we can do. Right? That's number one. That's it. When that's taboo, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, that's management. What is it? What is it that it didn't hit? And when I say didn't hit, I'm talking about it becoming a million seller, it becoming a multi-million seller. She's getting the Grammys, because at this moment in time it's 1984, so of course, you know, we don't have the Soul Train Music Awards out. I don't even think there was any Black Awards shows out at the time, so we could only deal with the Grammys, what, the American Music Awards, so on and so forth. So what was it about this album that just didn't hit for her? Stay right there. But whatever the case is, it was worthy. The album was worthy enough for her to get another try. And she gets it, right? Let's go back in. Let's see what we can do. But unlike the first album, which I like cut for cut, I like this album cut for cut as well. I do. But there's something about this album that's kind of forced. Even though we have that hit single Saturday Love, right? And You Look Good to Me. Because there is no Alexander O'Neal duet on her first album, right? There is no Alexander O'Neal duet. So is that it? Does it take a particular male presence to introduce an R&B diva? The making of an R&B diva? Is that when we started liking Sherelle? I'm throwing things out. But follow me. I'm just throwing things out. Because when Saturday Love came out, what? We ain't got to say anything else. We already know how we still feel about Saturday Love right now today. So Saturday Love is like the Rick James and Tina Marie Fire and Desire. Like what? That is a black anthem, Saturday Love. So she comes out in 1985 with this album, High Priority. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. But as I said, it's forced. So let's talk. Let's sit right there for a second, because we know that this album is a great album. Like it's great for it. It goes gold, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it's a great album. But something is happening for someone else's career that is not necessarily happening for Sherelle, the making of an R&B diva. I'm glad you asked that question. Well, what do you mean something is happening? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. You remember when I told you that I Didn't Mean to Turn You On was released in 1984, right? That was her album. Guess what happens in 1985? Just not even, it couldn't even be a year, maybe just a little bit over a year. Guess what happens in her career? Robert Palmer records his version of I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. And guess what happens? And if you think what happened, then you would be right. Robert Palmer almost makes it to #1 on the pop charts with that song. The same song. Maybe watered down the beat and the vocals a little bit, because he's not Sherelle. But her version hovers around the lower parts of the pop charts in the higher parts of the R&B charts. Robert Palmer, he goes almost and skyrockets to #1 on the pop charts. The Making of an R&B Diva. So what is it about this particular R&B diva where she wasn't embraced by pop music? Same song. Doesn't matter if it was watered down just a tad bit. It doesn't matter if Robert Palmer has Sherelle vocals. Oh, I understand what you said. Oh, it's a tad bit black. Right. Urban, I'm sorry, urban. Her sound is too urban. She needs to water it down a little bit. Really? But we don't say that to Shaka Khan. So what is it? The Making of an R&B diva. We're going somewhere. It's going to get better and better and better. You better stick around. Ooh. So it's 1985. Now you have to put a little side note right here. Like just put a little side note, a little sticky something. And here's what you do. You're an artist. You released an album, a song. It does what it does. And someone else comes right after you, just very quickly right after you, and hits. What do you think? What are you thinking? I'm not saying anything, I don't know if she spoke about this. As I said, I didn't read any old articles. I don't know. See, I can just listen to the music and know songs and go like, that means it's not that deep. What was she thinking? Huh? Well, I mean, from a political standpoint, well, you know what? He's a great artist, and I'm just so happy, thrilled that he was able to do what it does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it introduced, well, now, maybe people are finding out more about me and who I am and all of that. It gives me an artist, a new audience as well, because eventually maybe somebody will stumble across my version. Yeah, but I'm happy for him. But you go back into the lab, the woodshed, so you can come up with something. And she does. Nothing really changes. Now, I think, and I don't know why they decided to stick with Jam and Lewis for this album, and it's all right that they did. But the other two producers who I mentioned, who appeared on the High Priority album, not the High Priority album, but the Fragile album, who did the 3 songs. What was the name of those 3 songs? I keep forgetting the name. I'm not good with that part of this. I think the songs were I Need You Now. What was another one? Stay With Me. And I Will Wait For You. Oh my gosh, I love I Will Wait For You. That song, I Will Wait For You, is in rotation. It's in rotation. And there is a song on the album you have to listen to as well, the song I Need You. You might disagree with me on this one, and it's fine. But after listening to that song, I need, what is it? I Need You to Know? No, I Need You Now. If you listen to it closely, I was like, this sounds a little bit like Erykah Badu. I think Erykah Badu would definitely sound great singing this song. Yeah. But it's 1985, and she's definitely having some success. Like, I think Saturday Love, of course, is a bigger song than I Didn't Mean to Turn You On. But still, what I'm saying is that song really was a household name. It was. There is no way around it. And she also made it to the higher parts of the pop charts. So her career is definitely trending in the right direction, right? You would say so. I would like to think so. The album is bigger than her previous album, but at the same time, I like the first album better than this one, but it is what it is. There's something else that is about to happen in Sherelle's career, the making of an R&B diva. Now this, if you stuck around for this is when it's about to get good. Okay. So as I'm listening to Saturday Love, I've listened to Fragile. I've listened to Saturday Love. I mean, not Saturday Love, but I've listened to High Priority. These two albums. You have an R&B diva with a sound, a look. Oh, she has pulled. We have teamed her up. I say we teamed her up with this strong male presence, Alexander O'Neal. You know, who is just as strong. Ooh, as my eyes are closed, I'm thinking about seeing Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle in the video, and they're standing there singing to each other. And what I'm thinking about right now, I don't know why it's just in my head like this. I'm thinking how Alexander O'Neal is singing to her, and he has such a strong presence, very strong presence. And Sherelle is just, they're so feminine and so like just petite, you know what I'm saying? But bold at the same time, but yet so, just so easy. But anywho, so I'm thinking about that and I'm looking at that combination, you know, and how at the same time they're not like all up on each other, but at the same time you can just sense that chemistry as they just stand there singing to each other. Anyway, moving right along. But she shows up with the strong male presence. He has an audience. They're introducing each other to their audience, right? We're digging it. We're liking it. Sherelle is really and truly now at this moment in time, she's a hip sister. She's in her lane. Now when you think about it, she's not putting the man down at all. She knows how to be forward. She knows how to be passive. She understands how to be aggressive. She can shake her thing on the dance floor with a single like Fragile. I mean, she's really like all of this combination that I'm kind of sensing from just her music and her vibe. I'm saying to myself like, wow. But only gold? It could have sold more albums by now. I just don't know. I don't know those numbers. But still not a household name. I'm going somewhere. You want to stick around. It's getting good. I'm building up. It's, foreplay, then climax. Okay? I'm going somewhere. The making of an R&B diva. So now you have her with her first album, 1984. She comes out with her second album, 1985. Robert Palmer single, I Didn't Mean to Turn You On, has now been released in this time. Someone else has skyrocketed with a song she performed, right? Not doing anything different than she did. But that version of that song takes off for that artist. It's 1985. Something is happening. Something is about to happen. I think you know where I'm about to go. If you don't know where I'm about to go, then I don't know what to tell you, but I think you know where I'm about to go, and I'm about to go there. It's not bad. I just am. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It's not bad. I just am. Hold on. It's 1985. And something is about to happen that following year. Something is probably already happening, but something is definitely about to happen in 1986. Right after Sherelle releases this album, talking about the making of an R&B diva. Y'all ready? Okay. Just want you to hold on to these. You just got to stick around. If you don't stick around, I don't know what to tell you. Let me just make a side note here. This is just in my head. This is not something that I've heard anyone talk about. I'm not trying to stir up any kind of controversy at all. We're just talking about the making of an R&B diva. That's my disclaimer, honestly. But sometimes I just see things that I guess other people probably don't see or don't pay attention to. Maybe you have, maybe just saying like we ain't gonna discuss it. I don't know. I'm just. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know this story. How these three hooked up. I just know they did. And it very well could be that maybe, with the success of this R&B diva and the success that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was having with others, it seemed like maybe you'd be the right group, the right producers to work with this particular R&B diva. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Janet Jackson. The making of an R&B diva. Now, y'all could talk about it all day long. And it's fine. You can tell me, hey, I'm reaching, and I'm fine. It's my show. Y'all can say I'm reaching. I've always thought this, and now I'm just going to bring it out. I'm going to be like, oh, Lord, I know y'all going to say, I don't believe he said this, but, I've always thought this listening to this album out of all these years. I know you're probably saying, I didn't think about that. Then Janet Jackson shows up. She shows up in the flight time camp. Janet Jackson does. And I've said this before. I said this when it came down to Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans. I did. And what did I say? I said, well, when it comes to Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans, you have to realize as a creative individual that if, let's just say Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, well, I mean, Mary J. Blige is my artist, my artist, I helped to create this sound and this image, so on and so forth. Well, we're no longer really working together like that anymore. And that's cool, that's fine. It is what it is. But I'm going to use like what I did in the past, what I did with you. I'm going to recreate this again. Maybe not intentionally, but I'm just going to do it. And so if it comes out that this particular diva, Faith Evans, sounds a little bit like you, Mary, it's possible. Because, well, she's from these hands, if you will, from this head. So it's possible that Faith Evans could come a little bit off like you. And then think, there is a bad boy sound. The same things with these two R&B divas. And I know everybody's probably saying, are you doing what I think you're doing? Are you really and truly? I know, y'all don't think it's possible, but it's very possible. Hold on, I'm trying to get the right covers out. It's very possible. Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever said that. Thank you. Hold them together like this. It's very possible that these two divas are definitely a chip off the old block. But in a good way. Right? Well, what do you mean that these two divas are a chip off the old block? Think about it. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You don't think so? Okay, I'm going to help you out. So I listened to the High Priority album. All of you guys know the songs from Janet Jackson's album Control by now, because she released every song on the album was almost a single. You Look Good to Me. You Look Good to Me. That's Control. Yes, it is. You Look Good to Me. That's Control. That's the same song. When I Think of You, Artificial Heart. It's the same song. Same song. So what are you saying? I am saying that this album by Janet Jackson, the Control album, I know y'all have it. I know y'all find it hard to believe, but that's fine. It's my show. I can talk. I know y'all find it hard to believe that this album here is definitely Sherelle's. This is Sherelle's album. Well, what do you mean it's Sherelle's album? No, that's Janet's album. You're right, it's Janet's album, but before Janet, there was Sherelle. Oh, I know what you're saying. Janet was already established. Yeah, with Jam and Lewis. Janet Jackson, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Janet Jackson, this was Janet Jackson. This was Janet Jackson. This was Janet Jackson. Oh, so y'all don't think that she got... Thank you. Look at this Janet. And I look at this Janet and this Janet. Sherelle and this Janet. Look at Janet and this Sherelle. I'm done. But that's Sherelle's album, is what I'm saying. We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. Do you see how that transition happened? So the question we're asking ourselves over here, and you guys out there, you just don't know you're asking it just right now. But the question we're asking ourselves, we're saying, the making of an R&B diva, how did it hit for Janet? The same sound, different vocals. Both ladies are attractive. Why would it hit for Janet and not Sherelle? Wait a minute, Robert Palmer hit with that single. I didn't mean to turn you on, but it didn't do much for Sherelle. Oh, I know what you're saying. I'll see. I can hear it in my ears. Well, Sherelle's not as talented as Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson got talent. She can dance. She can do that. She's a Jackson. She blah, 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 blah. See? Okay, that's the reason why it didn't happen. See, right there. That's what I'm telling you right now. That's the reason why it didn't happen. It didn't happen for all the reasons you just said, because we as people, as music buyers, people who listen to things, we have automatically put Sherelle on the back burner. We didn't give the diva an opportunity. We didn't, Sherelle. I mean, this lady created a masterpiece with this album and the previous album. And yet it's like, all right. But Janet, oh my God, she's a new sensation. Oh, what? Oh, she's reinvented herself. Oh, she's taking control of a career. So the making of an R&B diva, is it promotion? Is it media and how you put what you put out into the media? Is it management? Oh, is it the record company? Right? Janet Jackson, A&M Records, right? She was on A&M Records at the time. Maybe A&M Records, maybe that's A&M said, we're going to put some money behind this one. We got a hit single. Put some money behind this album. Maybe they didn't start out with the first single. What was the first single off the album? Was it What Have You Done For Me Lately? Which, by the way, I mean, but it had everything that Sherelle had. It was Sherelle's sound. I'm saying it because it's obvious. I'm not saying it to be critical. I think people think, oh my gosh, you're saying this to be critical. I'm not criticizing. Why would I want to criticize some R&B divas whose albums I have, who I listen to? I ain't criticizing anybody. We're talking about the making of an R&B diva is what we're talking about. We're not talking about Janet and Sherelle. We're not talking about Robert Palmer. We're not talking about Jam and Terry Lewis. We're not talking about that. But maybe we're talking about us. Maybe that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. See, the making of an R&B diva. And so many times we find ourselves in the category of saying, well, she ain't, it's your fault. We're talking about the diva. It's your fault your album didn't sell. It's your fault. Can you be another color? I'm just about to say, like, can you be something else? But really, like, what is it? It's all of these things. But let me not get sidetracked. But it's all of these things. But you can't tell me this Janet and this Janet are two different Janets. Oh, she was young. She was just only a certain age at this point in time. You can't do this to her. You can't. Oh, look at her. She was just so young and innocent. That's not what I am saying. She obviously reinvented herself. That's fine. We're not saying anything bad about Janet. We're talking about the making of an R&B diva. And this album is a Sherelle's album. I know we've never said this before. I've never heard anybody say that, but Janet Jackson's Control album is a Sherelle's album. Sherelle could have easily ate this album up and put this album out. Sherelle could have. Sherelle, she could have easily put this album out because that's Sherelle. That's Sherelle. She could have did it. She got all the attitude and all the spunk. Oh, oh, okay, you don't think. Okay. Sherelle said, I didn't mean to turn you on, now didn't she? She said that, right? What did Janet say on this album? What did Janet say? Y'all know what Janet said. We loved what she said. Let's wait a while. Janet said, let's wait. Before it's too late, let's wait a while. I'm just saying. There was nothing new. They didn't do anything new. It's Sherelle. Oh, Lord. My people. I love y'all, though. Oh, my. The making of an R&B diva. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. This is about to happen. Hold on. Oh, my gosh. I hope it don't happen. Please don't happen. Oh my gosh, I am about to lose all my juice. Don't lose your juice. Don't lose your juice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I was about to lose the juice. It was going to cut off. I just looked. Thank you. I don't think I want to do this again. But anyway, oh my gosh. The making of an R&B diva. You know, I don't know. I don't know why, for one hits and another one doesn't. I don't know why. I don't. But I can honestly say that I'm happy for both divas. Sherelle, in her unsung, as well as in some interviews, something happens to her career from an artist standpoint. We're talking about an artist standpoint. And there's no need to digging around into that because it's just what it is, you know. But something happens in her career from an artist standpoint where Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis' first album, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis' second album, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis' third album. And when she released this album, 1991, right? Sherelle finds herself, I guess you could say, taking control of her career. I'm going to talk about this, but I think I'm in a good place to start with this video because I want to talk about the Affair album as well as this album. But I will leave it here by basically saying she wants to take control of her career. And she made a comment that basically stated she only has a career if she works with Jimmy and Terry Lewis. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Well, I'm going to talk about that because what we see here is that the formula that she has obviously is a good formula. I didn't mean to turn you on, becomes a hit. These two, Control, Janet Jackson Control album is just it's the combination of Sherelle's two albums, Fragile and High Priority. The only thing that's different would be Janet Jackson, the person, right? Janet Jackson, the voice, and Janet Jackson, the dancing. But Sherelle is going to find herself where she's either branching out or reinventing herself. And by the time she gets to the point to do this, where she feels confident enough that I'm ready. It is what it is. I'm ready. We see her as this hip singer to now she's about to tackle trying to become a pop diva. The making of an R&B diva. And so we're looking like, huh? When I heard the song Tears of Joy, I was like, oh, this is a great song. Oh, wow, she sounds great, but that's not what I'm used to. And that's why I love doing this now. I love going back. I love listening to music now because I am checking myself because I find myself maybe in that category of people who maybe put my R&B divas in a box too, even though I like them. I've put them in a box. Ouch. I put them in a box as well. Even as a fan who loves R&B divas. And yet I wasn't able to fully embrace the experience that Sherelle was obviously trying to give us. Now, granted, you also have to be able to entice us. You know, we have to like the songs. You know what I'm saying? We got to have to like the production of it. You know, it's the sound, it's the image. You understand what I'm saying? We have to consider those things as well. So maybe when you hear a particular artist, such as an R&B diva who will probably say in her career, you know what, I just want to make music that feels good. I just want to make people feel good. You know, I just want to make me, but maybe you don't want to be in the music business. I'm just saying, you know, because at this moment in time, see, I sound like an executive. See? Shame on me. Like I'm finding myself branching out into something totally different, and it almost sounds like I'm being mean. Maybe I'm not being mean. Maybe think about how many R&B divas probably have heard that. Maybe, you know, I mean, because that's not what we do. Music, baby, we sell records. This is what we do. It's like this is what we do. We sell records. We don't like. We don't care about your voice, really. We can, you know, shoot, we can get a hit out of we can get a hit out of the Smurfs. I'm just saying, we can go get Daffy Duck, you know, and make him have a shoot. Bart Simpson had a hit song. What was it? The Bart Man. So we can. It ain't funny. It's just like when I think about it now. I don't believe I'm doing this to myself. I don't believe that. Me sounding like an executive. Maybe. So sorry. But we're going to talk about that with Sherelle. Oh gosh. I have enjoyed this. I really have. Oh me, oh my. Well, in our video, you get this one gets an hour. I could continue to go on, but I don't want to. I think I'm at a good stopping place for this. Oh my gosh. Well, if you've made it this far, an hour of me, oh my gosh, then you know what I can appropriately say. Hang out with me, hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button, all of that stuff. You know, give me some love. Give me some love. I appreciate you guys so much. I really and truly do. And remember over here, I believe in putting you behind where your heart desires to be. I hope you're doing that. I hope you are finding yourself in your joy. I hope so. You know what? And it's the joy that builds, not destroy. Okay. Some people can find joy in things and it's like, baby, what do you get joy out of that? That's destruction. But anyway, whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. Remember, I love you guys out there. I thank you guys so much for just your support and for watching. I do. Thank you guys so much. And until then, I look forward to seeing you next video. You know what to do. Take care of yourselves.